Hello and good morning everyone. So this will be the continuation to our report, and this morning I will discuss to you the assigned topic nga akong i-report karon nga buntag, which is the brief history of Philippine taxation. So Spanish era, 17th and 18th centuries, the Contador de Resultas serves as the chief royal accountant whose functions were to similar to the Commissioner of Internal Revenue today. So taxes that were collected from the inhabitants varied from the tribute or head tax of 1 gold and maize annually, tax on value of jewelries and gold trinkets, indirect taxes on tobacco, wine, cockpits, burlas, and powder. So in 1521 to 1821, the Spanish treasury had to subsidize the Philippines in the amount of 250,000 per annum due to the poor of financial condition of the country. So kabalo man tang tanan nga ang ato ang nasod sa Pilipinas is dili siya kaayo progressive nga nasod, dili kaayo siya masulti nato nga dato nga nasod. So that's the reason why ang the Spanish treasury nagasuporta kada bulan or nagahatag sila kada bulan og 250,000 per annum. And due to the poor financial tradition of the country, which can be primarily attributed to the poor revenue collected system. So motong gingon ako kaganina tungod sa kapobrehon or sa dili pagka-progressive sa ato ang nasod sa Pilipinas kanabang makita nato nga pinakagamay mong gudta kanabang kung dili kayo established or dili kayo progressive ka nasod. So that's the reason why ang Spanish treasury nagasuporta sa to og 250,000 kada annum. And then when the American era in 1898 to 1901, the country was ruled by American military governors. So mo ni siguro ang panahon nga gisakop nata sa mga Amerikano mo ni nga time ani. And the first civil government was established under William H. Taft. However, it was only during the term of second civil governor Luke A. Wright that the Bureau of Internal Revenue or BIR was created in July 2, 1904. And then in the month of August 1, 1904, the BIR was formally organized and made operational under the Secretary of Finance, Henry Ide, author of Internal Revenue Law of 1904. So, kani nga time, gibago nila ang sistema, kumbaga gi-reorganize nila kung katong mga kinahanglang ilisan. So, gipang-ilisan na nila ni ini nga panahon na. And then with John S. Hort as the first collector, the second American collector was William T. Holting in the year 1909 hangtod sa 1912. And during his term, collections by the real estate that license division were confirmed to revenue occurring to the city of Manila. And then the fourth American collector was James J. Rafferty in the year 1914 hangtod sa 1918. So mo ni siyang ikaupat nga collector at to that time. In line with the Philippinization policy of the US President McKinley, Filipino collectors were appointed. The first three BIR collectors were Wenceslao Trinidad, second in the year 1918 until 1922, and second one is Juan Posados Jr. in the year 1922 until 1934, and Alfredo Yatao 1934 until 1938. So in the year of 1937, the Secretary of Finance reorganized the provincial inspection districts and maintained each province an internal revenue office supervised by a provincial agent. So in the word reorganize, gibag-o, murag giilisdan nila tong mga maybe mga officers, mga mga naa sa position murag siguro that time kinahanglan nilang ma-reorg kay siguro naay mga reason. Basically reason is dili na nindot ang management, dili na nindot ang leadership. So ingana ang most example. So sa Japanese era, panahon ni sa mga Hapones. Japanese era in the year 1942 up until 1945. So the bureau was combined with the customs office and was headed by a director of customs and internal revenue. So post-war era in the July 4, 1946. And when the Philippines gained its independence, so sa panahon nga nakabot na nato ang kalayaan gikan sa pagsakop sa ato sa mga Hapones, mo ni siya. I mean pagsakop sa tuwa panahon sa Amerikano, the bureau was eventually established separately. And then the country was divided into 31 inspection units, each of which was under provincial revenue agent and city revenue agent in distilleries and tobacco factories. So murag gikuan siya og tulo. Mo to siya ang provincial revenue agent and city revenue agent in distilleries and tobacco factories, or what we call tobacco. And then in the year 1951, the withholding tax system was adopted by Republic Act 690. This method of collecting income tax upon receipt of the income resulted to the collection of approximately 25% of the total income tax collected. So 25% ang ilahang mga total nga na-collect within this year. And in the year 1954 to 1957, major reorganization took place in bureau which created various of Bs, including the setting of regional offices in Cebu and Davao in the year 1955. So mo to siya in 1954 to 1957, mo to mga happenings. So in the January 1957, the position title of the head of the bureau was changed. So nabago ang position. So from collector to commissioner. So gikan sa collector, sa pagkakaroon giilisdan siya as a commissioner. And the last collector and the commissioner of the BIR was Jose Aranas in the year 1958. So ang pangalan sa kaniadto nga collector sa mga tax is si Jose Aranas. So in the year 1958, Tax Census Division was established to consolidate all statements of assets, incomes, and liabilities of all individual and resident corporations in the Philippines into a national tax census. So yun. And June 1959, the Reward Law or Republic Act number 233 was passed to strictly enforce the payment of taxes and to the further discourage tax evasion. So yun. Whereby informers were rewarded the 25% equivalent of the revenue from the tax evader. So in the year 1964, the Philippines was subdivided again into 15 regions and 72 inspection districts. Take note, the Philippines divided again into 15 regions and 72 inspection districts. So Tobacco Inspection Board and Accountable Forms Committee were also created directly under the office of the Commissioner. So in the administration of our former President Marcos in the year 1965, Commissioner Misael Vera implemented the Blue Master Program to curb the abuses of both the taxpayers and BIR personnel. So ilan ang gi-implement, murag ilan ang gi-conduct, gibuhat. So yun. And the voluntary tax compliance program to the encourage professionals in the private and government sectors to report their income and to pay the correct amount of taxes. So kinahanglan kining mga kuan mag-report na gyud in order nga masabtan o mahibal-an nila kung pila ang na-collect or pila ang unsay dagan sa mao nga butang. And then in the year 1970, each taxpayer was provided with a permanent tax account number or TAN or TAN, which resulted into faster verification of tax records. So bale ang mga taxpayer kinahanglang mo provide na gid sila og permanent tax account, murag mo provide sila, mohatag sila para in order para dili kayo hassle para sa ilaha ana nga mga butanga. And during martial law years, several tax amnesty decrees were issued by the president to enable erring taxpayers to start new. So mo ni siya pag-abot sa martial law, murag ni-decrease gamay ang paghatag sa mga tax sa mga unsa na ni-decrease siya tungod sa siguro sa some of the reason nganong nibaba ang kolekta sa mga tax. And in the year 1976, the Bureau's national office was transferred from the Finance Building in Manila to its own building in Quezon City. So transfer nibalhin na pud sila. Nibalhin sila dito sa Quezon City. And 1977, President Marcos promulgated the National Internal Revenue Code of 1977, which updated the 1934 Tax Code. So in the year 1980, Commissioner Ruben Achenta further reorganized the Bureau. So sige lang gi-reorganize na pud niya. Gi-reorganize. And in the administration of our former President Aquino, in the February 1986, after the EDSA Revolution, Operation Walang Lagay was launched to promote the efficient and honest collection of taxes. So, muna ni siya, murag, nag-launch sila og usa ka programa nga to promote the efficient and honest collection of taxes. So, may balaan itong mga honest na when it comes sa mga taxes. And January 30, 1987, Commissioner Benvenido Tan Jr. reorganized the Bureau. So in the 1988, the value-added tax or VAT was introduced. So the adoption of the VAT system was one of the structural reforms provided for in the 1986 Tax Reform Program. So in 1989, Commissioner Jose Ong improved tax collection and simplified tax administration. So gi-improve na niya, murag si Commissioner Jose Ong siguro na sa mga dili nindot nga mga observation regarding sa pagbayad og tax. So bali kung unsa tong nindot nga i-improve, gi-improve niya. So bali kung unsa tong mga dili maayo nga mga kuan, maayo nga butang, so nga dapat tatagag pagtagad i-improve, so gibuhat niya. And the new payment control system and simplified net income taxation scheme. So Ramos administration. So 1993, Commissioners Liwayway, Vincent Chato implemented the Action-Centered Transformation Program, and the realign and direct to the entire organization towards the fulfillment of its vision and mission. In 1994, a 5-year tax computerization project or TCP was undertaken, which involved establishment of a modern and computerized integrated tax system and internal administration system. So ni-improve na gid siya. Improve na siya. And July 1997, the BIR was further streamlined to support the implementation of the computerized integrated tax system. So under the administration of our former President Erap Estrada, Commissioner Beethoven Raulo enhanced the voluntary compliance and implemented the Economic Recovery Assistance Payment Program. So in the 1999, the raffle promo humingi ng resibo manalo ng libo-libo was institutionalized. So it encouraged consumers to demand sales, invoice, and receipt. In the year 2000, Commissioner Dakila Fanashir implemented the full utilization of tax computerization in the Bureau's operations. So, mo siya ang mga happenings in the administration of our former President, Erap Estrada. So, pumunta naman tayo sa administration ni Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. 2001, Commissioner Attorney Rene G. Banies implemented changes the made of the tax system simpler and suited to the Philippine culture, more efficient and transparent. And he also implemented the voluntary assessment program and compromise settlement program and expansion of coverage of the creditable withholding tax system, a technology-based system that promotes the paperless if paperless tax return and payment of taxes was also adopted through the electronic filing and payment system. So, dili na kayo mahasel ang uban. So, less hassle na po ni sa mga taxpayers para dali na po ang transaction. In the year 2002, Commissioner Guillermo L. Paraino Jr. of Fred Voluntary Assessment and Abatement Program to taxpayers with under-declared sales receipts income. He adopted the reconciliation of listing for enforcement of relief system to detect under declaration of taxable income by taxpayers and electronic broadcasting system to enhance the security of tax payment. So, mo tong sa year 2002. Dadako naman tayo sa 2006. Commissioner Jose Mario N. Bunyag expanded the rate program to the regional offices, inclusion of payment gateways such as the efficient service machines and the GCash and smart money facilities. So, implementation of the branch making method and installation of the Bureau's e-complaint system, a new service that allows taxpayers to log their complaints against earning revenues through the BIR website. So, mo na siya karon nga naka-benepisyo na pud ta kaning example ani kaning smart money facilities and GCash. So, isa na pud ta sa mga naka-benefits nini. So, in the year 2007, the National Program Support for Tax Administration Reforms program funded by various international development agencies was launched to improve BIR efficiency in various areas tax administration like taxpayer compliance, tax enforcement, and control. Commissioner Lillian B. Hefty embarked on data matching of income payments of withholding agents to reported income of the concerned recipients. So in the year 2008, Commissioner Sixto S. Ixabas IV closed earning business establishments under the Oplan Candado program. So, isirado, murag establish na niya ning Oplan Candado program. Siya nag-establish ani in the year 2008. So, in the year 2009, Commissioner Joel L. Tan Torres pursued a high visibility public awareness campaign on the Bureau's enforcement and taxpayer service programs. He institutionalized several programs to improve revenue collection. So, in Aquino administration under the Commissioner Kim S. Jacinto Henares, the BRR focused on the filing of tax evasion cases. The BIR was able to collect more than one half of the total revenues of the government. So, gi-allowed nila. So, in the administration of our former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, Rodrigo Roa Duterte signed the Republic Act 10963 or the Tax Reform for Acceleration and Inclusion Act of 2017, which lowered personal income tax rates but increased taxes on certain goods, leading to a net increase in revenue. This excess revenue will be used to fund the major expansion in public infrastructure. So, mao to siya ang mga katikaran, mga updates sa kana bang mga update sa ako ang report karon nga buntaga. And I hope you learned something about the brief history of Philippine taxation. So, thank you so much for your time of listening. God bless.